What's up guys, Odi Bakchis here. This is my Falcon Tire fuel suspension Nissan S15. Let's check this thing out. I'm very proud of this thing, and it's quite different than my previous S chassis. Like the S14 right next to it is a chassis I've driven since 2011. There's been a lot of things that we wanted to improve, and instead of just improving that car and taking it completely apart, we decided to start fresh. We are running the same drivetrain, basically the same engine as I've been running before, Texas Speed 427 cubic inch V8, supercharged with a Vortec YSI blower, and just to give it that little edge and more responsiveness than it already has, some nitrous sprayed at it. The front end on this car is as light as I can make it. That was kind of the whole emphasis of starting scratch. Instead of just changing that car, we wanted to shift as much of the weight towards the back of the car to make it as balanced as possible. Engine on this is moved back quite a ways from a typical S chassis. So if you look at the motor, if you go to the engine bay, that intake manifold is almost touching the firewall. We just went as far back as we could. We moved the seat back probably a good 5.5 inches. Everything moved along with me, meaning the pedals, the steering column. So it wasn't just my weight we moved back, we were able to move basically all the other heavy components that allow us to handle the car, through any circumstance. We even try to cut down on hardware that is not needed. Check out the headlights. Those are S15 headlight lenses. We don't even run the whole headlight, it's too heavy. These chassis aren't necessarily balanced from the factory, so we're kind of starting at a deficit, but they handle so well, they're so nimble that I felt like I could make this thing do exactly what I wanted. Check this out. We're using a very lightweight pedal box. It's made by OBP Motorsports. The pedal box is there, but the reservoirs for the fluid is actually behind my seat. I figured, hey, why not? Let's move it somewhere where it's actually easier to access and shift the weight back. Ergonomics of the car are really comfortable. The visibility is great. We put some nice Lexan windows in here to keep me safe, keep all the debris out. I've been breathing enough rubber through the years. Dashboard is a dry carbon dashboard made by Monster Service. It's super lightweight. It looks cool because it's got the OEM contour still. It mimics what an S15 dash looks like, but this is a left-hand drive dashboard because we converted this S15 to be left-hand drive. But the dashboard and the cleanliness all just make it look like it's natively supposed to be left-hand drive. GSR 4-speed dog box, simple, made in the US. Parts are easy to attain and it's easy to work on. Made it to a QuickTime bell housing, that's made it to my 427 cubic inch engine. All right, so moving towards the back of the car, we got a Radium fuel cell with their surge tank. It works really well. We don't have to be too hyper-focused if the fuel level drops. Canton Racing expansion tank and overflow. I'm really proud of this unit because it's all built as one, so you have less plumbing, less separate containers. So actually, the entire bodywork on this is carbon Kevlar. It's just painted because we run the Falcon teal and blue livery, but it's all either dry carbon or carbon Kevlar, which makes it, super flexible and very sturdy at the same time. We run a cool suit. This is strategically moved towards the back of the car for that weight distribution purpose, and we wanted something that's easy to get in and out of because we're always continually adding ice to here. It does have a little heat shield so the fans aren't just absolutely melting it. There's a certain section of the car that I want to protect at all costs, and that is squared up right around the radiator, and we try to keep that as tidy to the rear of the car as possible, so it's close to the subframe as possible, because if we get into the wall, we want that kind of permanent structure that's not supposed to bend to be as far away from the wall as possible. From that structure on, it's all kind of consumables at that point. 2 little side bash bars, which are not required by Formula Drift, but I feel like they really save the chassis and a lot of the body work at the same time. In conclusion, this thing's super fun to drive, it rips, and it's giving me the results that I want. The Falcon tires keep it glued to the surface, the fuel coilovers are super adjustable even on the bumpiest of terrains, and this thing's just a pleasure to drive. Thank you guys for watching this, and make sure to follow me on the Throdle app.